should be up. No. Okay. On there. Let me just. Oh, we are on air now. Right, okay, there we go. So the problem seems to have been solved. We can only apologise for that for some odd reason. Oh, if you can keep an eye on that, Joe, and just let me know if anything changes.
Yeah,
so
you're on air.
We are on air. Right, we'll quickly run you through. So, hello everyone. But joining me is Joseph Willows. If you're just joining us, Ollie is on pole from Curly. For some odd reason, PlayStation was playing up a little bit and wouldn't let us connect to the YouTube channel. But we are now live. It's been a very intense qualifying session here under the desert. It's a Mercedes 1-2. It's Ollie from Curly. Cassie's in third. Fourth is Chicken. Nardi's in fifth. Deagle Killer in sixth. In seventh. Clarky, he's in eighth. Floris in ninth. And Alex, he rounds out the top 10. As I mentioned, joining me is JWF1, Joseph Willows. Joe, how are you looking forward to this Grand Prix?
I think it's going to be a very exciting race. I think Bahrain is, even in real life, throwing up a classic, especially since it's been a night race. Strategy, I think, is going to be quite key round here. You're looking at maybe a split in terms of strategy as well, whether it be one stop or two stops. We know that tyre wear is quite abrasive around here, but yeah, it should be quite an exciting race, it must be said.
Yeah, of course, we've got some great overtaking opportunities around here, the two DRS zones, as previously mentioned. Under the lights, one of only 3 races on the calendar that goes dark for us. Only he's seemingly on a quick lap at the moment. Very, very tight as Curly and Clay are the ones leaving it late. I think everyone's going to be, so it's going to be interesting how they filter through here. The times are going to come in thick and fast nonetheless. With just 8 temps separating the top 17 at the moment, with Alvaro the only man yet to set a lap round here. It's important, of course, that Ollie gets himself back up to speed, the defending champion. After round 2 and round 3 didn't go his way, not through any fault of his own, just mistakes that he couldn't really comprehend, and there was nothing he could do about it. He's improved his time, 1 minute 27.840. Curly is going to be one of the next men to come across. No, he's going to start his lap now. Ollie's called it a day. We're going to filter through. Yeah, Cass has done indeed. We're going to try and quickly keep an eye on who's coming. I'm going to keep an eye on Nardi now. He's coming through. No, in fact, we'll see. We go. Here comes Deagle Killer. He goes up into 3rd position, doing a great job there. It's going to be difficult to get through. Nardi's made a mistake going into the end of Sector 1, so it's the end of the day for him. He'll no longer be going on to it. Keep an eye on Synthetic. He's coming through the final corner now. The current championship leader. He'll need to get a much better position than this. If he wants to get up the field, he will do. P5. Only 5th for him. Chicken now improved. He goes pole by 2 tenths of a second. A great performance from him there. Floris, he's another man who's very, very quick. He's coming through the final corner. He's going across the line. Can he improve? Floris goes pole. He was one of the tip favourites. A 1 minute 27.391. A fantastic time there. Feeling the hype. Nicely indeed, and it's a really good time. Yeah, Razia does go. Alvaro goes 3rd. We'll let you have this one, Joe. Anyone else you're noticing on track who's doing well?
Not from where I'm looking at the moment. Here comes Alex coming across the line. He goes up to 9th that lap, so Curly down to 10th. So not a good qualifying time from him, but he's, I think, on a lap at the moment. In fact, he's coming up towards the final corner now. Then let's see if he's able to improve on that. He's qualified 7 temps if he wants to get close to Floris. As he comes down pit straight now, then let's see if he's going to be, if he does, he goes for 4th with that lap. 1 temp of Floris, but not quite a front row that he was expecting there.
No, the Eagle Killer, I don't think he's on a lap. Clark, he's coming through the final few corners, I think. But no, I think we're looking through over to Kink, maybe. He seems to be on a bit of a flyer at the moment, coming through the final sector now. Only 1 more corner to go. In 14th position, not really good enough for him. He's just under that 1 second mark as well. Any improvement to get into that top 10, not necessarily ideal getting into the top 10. 11th place could maybe go for a super soft. The optimal strategy around here, if you do not know, super soft medium is the prime you're going to be seeing. No, into the pits comes over to King. The optimal strategy is super soft medium, pitting around lap 8 to lap 10. If anyone does want to go for the super soft, it's a very much a push with the tyre wear around here and the overheating. It's a little bit nullified by the lower temperatures when it's at night time. But nonetheless, it seems like Floris, he's on pole position. So look out, lap 8. If anyone goes longer than lap 10, they might be going to push it. From Nardi downwards, they might be going onto the soft compound tyres, playing it safe, or they might be going onto super soft tyres to try and get a super soft. But it looks like Floris is the man of the hour. He's set himself a fantastic time and set himself up perfectly. If he shows his pace in the race, he might well have a great opportunity of picking up not only his first win, but first points of the season, yet to score points. We'll quickly run you through the championship as it stands. It is Synthetic who's on top. He's on 68 points. He's got a very comfortable lead at the moment to second place, which is Alonso. Then Gemzo in third, Clarky in fourth, Ollie D fifth, Alex 6th, Deagle Killers in 7th, Curly 8th, Clay 9th, and then 10th is Chicken. 40 points Synthetic as across Alonso, but the gap from 8th to 2nd is only 7 points. In second place in this qualifying session, that goes to Chicken. He showed some really impressive racing, really good side-by-side action. He's been on top most of the time to really show that he's got a great defensive ability, and he'll be happy with second. It's a real good opportunity in qualifying nonetheless. Joe, would you please run us through the qualifying classifications?
Sure thing. Okay, it is Flores who has taken pole position by just over 2/10 of a second. Chicken gets second place. Alvaro Mazia, Eagle in 7th, Clarky 8th, Synthetic 9th, Alex in 10th, Nardiex in 11th, Passy 12th, Davidos 13th, Over to King 14th, Alonso 15th, Clay 16th, I Super Scrub 17th, and Damn Daniel in 18th position. It's going to be very interesting to see, I feel, how Synthetic and Ollie do, considering they're down in 5th and 9th. Expect them to make some good overtakes during the race and hopefully bring us some action.
Yeah, qualifying hasn't been the suit of Ollie in recent races. Ever since his good showing on Australia, he's not really been up there as much. I mean, he did do well at China, of course, but in the last race at Baku, he didn't really hit the ground running. So 2 back-to-back Grand Prix that he will not feel happy in his qualifying performance. Under the lights, there's no chance of rain, of course, here in the desert. It's extortionate temperatures. Looking at the track, it's going to be nice and grippy for these drivers. The temperature in these tyres will be nice and warm off the mats, and they'll be into the pits. They'll be out of the pits nice and comfortably, and these cars are very much suited to these conditions. Just 30 seconds to go. Joe, I'm going to quickly ask you, what do you see? Who do you think is going to win this Grand Prix?
Ooh, quite a tough one. I've got my money on Ollie for this one. I think he can pull it off from 5th place, but you never know, of course. Anything could happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does.
It does indeed. The final countdown and formation lap is coming to an end. It is time to get ourselves underway for the Bahrain Grand Prix, round 4 of AOR. On your right is Flores, on your left is Chicken. 5 red lights are underway, and we are go here for the Grand Prix at Bahrain. It's a good start so far from Flores. He seemingly gets off the line nicely indeed. He has done his sit. Chicken behind though, he's not looking too great. There's going to be a bit of pressure from behind. Alvaro may be looking, there's a little bit of carbon fibre flicking about there. Chicken has held onto the position. 2 of the Mercedes doing well. Curly, he's up into 3rd. Ollie 4th now, but here comes Chicken. He's going to have to defend from both Mercedes cars. They're going to be coming up to him nicely now. They're coming up. I don't think there's an overtaking opportunity down the field though. Will the house look for a move up the inside? Goes Ollie on Curly. They're side by side through it. Make sure they don't touch wheels, boys. Mercedes behind getting a little bit wavy. Doing a good job though. They're side by side. Rosberg Hamilton-esque into the middle sector. This left-right S section. Doing well though, Curly, to hold on to his teammate. On the inside goes Ollie. Can he get it done? I think he's going to do a little bit of argy-bargy there, but Ollie moves up into 3rd position. Further down the field, the Williams, Haas, Red Bull and Renault, they're all scrapping it out for these last few measly points though. They're going to have to do a better job with that. There's going to be full locks-ups down there. Good to avoid contact. Up the inside goes the Red Bull, and the Haas holds on to the position. A very chaotic start to the race. Looking down the grid, there seems to be a holding on to the lead there, and Ollie making some valuable places up.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. A little bit of argy-bargy going on, but nothing too major. Ollie, I have to say, down at turn 4, he was so lucky not to spin it, because it looked like he clipped his teammate's rear. That's so lucky to keep the car going, and yeah, starting to close up now on Chicken, and who knows if he can get past him. Will he have the pace to get Flores, of course? Yeah,
this will be an important one. 2 positions gained nice and early. It will be interesting to see what he can do, of course. The fastest lap set nice and early from Flores. With 3 laps, of course, you'll get the DRS available, and that's where it's going to become crucial that you get within that 1 second mark, which Flores has pulled out so far. The guys are all streaming through. It's going to be a tough one to make sure that you do not pick up any debris. Someone did pick up some front wing damage there. We'll be interested to see who that was later on in the Grand Prix. But Ollie, he is all over the back of Chicken, looking for the prow. Further down, Clarky, he's having a good old battle with Davidos. He is on the soft tyres, the Haas driver, and it's going to be interesting as they filter through like a nice brewed coffee. How they're going to make their way through this. Early on in the race, you're going to see little scraps in this, but look at the field. They're all so tight. Everyone pretty much got themselves a chance of DRS apart from Chicken. He's going to be the most vulnerable man from the defending champion. Synthetic.
Oh, down at turn 4, there's a lot of contact down at turn 4. Alonso and looked like my Super Scrub got involved in some contact.
Yeah, indeed. There seems to be some dust on the tyre of Alonso, the current second place man in the championship, looking to gain some points on synthetic, not having the greatest start to this Grand Prix. As we mentioned, he dropped a few positions, didn't have the greatest qualifying in the world. iSuperscriber, who's currently in place of Gemzo this race in the Force India. So it's not ideal racing there. Not going to be perfect for Alonso. He's going to have to try and get himself back into this. Looking at the midfield pack though, you've got yourself Nardi, Eagle, Cass and Alvaro. We'll keep on board with Cass though, as he's got the slipstream of Alvaro. No DRS available at the exchange of the race. Get up the inside, later breaking up there. Full lock-up move completed. Now Alvaro has to keep an eye on the Red Bull behind him. He's dropping like a fly. Cass moves to the right-hand side. Slipstream for the Red Bull, maybe aiding him a little bit there. And the Eagle Killer going to be side by side now with Alvaro. Nardi will be looking behind, hoping to get a run on here now. The Red Bull, is he going to look up the inside? The Haas as well. Late braking from the McLaren. He's completely locked up. He's off the track, and that's going to lose him a few positions. Indeed, side by side, little bit of contact there from the the Renault and the Eagle Killer there. Nardi, Alvaro does have a penalty. Nardi, who was involved in some incidents at China, not really doing the best job there. Ollie unable to get past Chicken on that lap. Cass has dropped off Curly now as well, so he is also incredibly vulnerable as this midfield pack begins to scrap.
I was looking at the front of the field whilst you were looking at that scrap, and it must be said, Ollie's getting very racy now. He tried to have a look at Chicken, but Chicken just covered him off at that first corner. I don't know if he was trying to late break Chicken towards the end of it, but it wasn't going to work out, so he's still stuck behind him, and as a result, Flores is just able to get away from the rest of the pack. In fact, I don't know if you just saw that, but Flores has set the fastest lap of the race so far. And, well, as long as these two keep scrapping it out, Flores will keep pulling away at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Flores is doing a really good job at managing that gap at the moment. But Curly, Ollie, they're both on the prow of the car behind. We mentioned the midfield battle. Alvaro's dropping like a fly. And Davidos as well, they're having a little moment. But you look at the midfield gap. You just look at that battle from 5th place all the way down to 15th. All within DRS zone, so this could be interesting. We'll jump on board with Nardi, who is going to be the man on the charge at the moment. He's going to have potential DRS on Cass. It looks like it's a little bit too much at the moment. Earlier on we saw the McLaren locking up, trying to get past Cass. He's going to have DRS open. It's going to be tough for some of these guys to overtake. You have to get very, very inventive indeed.
Oh, he's on the inside of Chicken. They're shoving wheels there, and well, that was very close there. I thought one of them was going to get took out there, but wow, that was close racing. They're going to go side by side up through turn 4. Chicken has the inside going into the corner. Will Ollie try and do the switchback coming out? He's going to go to the inside through the chicane. Surely he's got it into these corners now. Then one of them's going to have to yield. Oh, and they're still side by side, rubbing door panels with each other, essentially down towards the hairpin. Ollie's still sticking with him now then. And, well, beautiful drive. Oh, he's lost it a little bit there. And Curly and Chicken have gone off there. Chaos to the hairpin. Ollie takes full advantage and up into 2nd place.
Yeah, it seemed like the Red Bull lost the rear end there, and off worse come Curly. He will not be happy at all. Chicken, he's just dropped. I think that might be his race over. We mentioned about his qualifying being well and his racecraft being great. I think there he pushed it a little bit too much. Should have called it a day and gone for Ollie maybe on the straight. But Ollie, he's up into 2nd position as his redemption tour gets underway. Next up target for him is Flores. A great start from Nardi. He's up into 4th as well. He's had a really good start, but this also makes him a little bit vulnerable from Ollie, a little bit vulnerable from Cass and Nardi. Curly, he's got the Eagle Killer all over his rear end. I think he might have picked up some damage. I'd assume he might slot into the pits. If not, he's going to be having a horrible Grand Prix. Up the inside goes the Red Bull. He's having flashbacks of a Red Bull previously. Potential wheel barging there, but they've held it off. Here comes the Williams, though, of Synthetic, the championship leader. He will not have the slipstream. He will have DRS available to him. We have a potential 3-wide situation going on here. Synthetic all the way over to the left-hand side of the track. The Red Bull will keep on board here with Alex. He's got a great view of this. They're all going side by side. Little bit of contact there. Off they go. Curly Whirly, he's just about holding the outside line. Synthetic up the inside. This returns to the outside now. Eagle Killer's got the manoeuvre done. But this now is a Williams Mercedes sandwich. He could find himself in Curly. They're going into turn 4. Outbraking himself potentially Curly. No, he doesn't. But now Synthetic, he'll look to open it up. But this opens his teammate up for a potential. They're coming through. That surely not through this section. 3 are wide. No, they back out of it. But there goes Alex looking at the for the move though. But he can't get it done. And Synthetic maybe going for a dive bomb up the inside. He goes for it. He gets it done maybe. Yes, he does. Will he go for a switchback? The Toro Rosso hitting Alex there. But Curly can't get the switchback done. On board now with Curly. Well, it's all going off at the moment. This track creates some great overtaking opportunities. Contact there, Curly fully locked up and gone into the back of Synthetic. Not ideal there. So Synthetic moves up into 6th position. Curly trying to help his teammate out. He'll get a run now. He'll try and hang it around the outside potentially. Little bit of wheel barging, but it's held on to the position, and Synthetic gets the manoeuvre done. And Brave. Oh no, here comes Alex. Alex going around the outside of Curly, and Alex gets the manoeuvre done, and he overtakes him as well. So it's a 6-7. And now Clarky, he's up the inside of Curly, so Curly must have major damage now after the contact and lock up. So Curly is dropping like a fly.
Yeah, just to let you know, Chicken has just finished the pits. It looked like Clay has got himself a 3-second time penalty, I think, for the corner cut in there. But surprisingly enough, Ollie is not really catching up to Flores. I would have thought at this stage he would have started catching up, but Flores is actually up to 4.3 seconds. Flores seems to have some genuine pace in that Force India. Ollie just can't seem to keep up on this still.
No, I think Flores just genuinely has some seriously good pace. We saw in qualifying how well he was doing. Clay and Dan Daniel, they're battling. Still a bit of argy-bargy. Sauber have only got one single point on the constructors table at the moment, and they'll be looking to extend that. They can get a second point if Dan Daniel can get past the Ferrari driver here, going side by side, and the Sauber's out a little bit wide. And good driving there for both of them, keeping it clean. Don't want to have contact this early on. You do not want to ruin your race with silly damage, which is seemingly happening to Curly at the moment.
Gone into the pits there.
Yeah, it's
Curly, Alvaro, Pasti, all three of them gone into the pits, and now Chicken finds himself right behind them, so they come back and start from here really for him.
Yeah, I believe they would. We'll quickly check what tyres. I'd assume they would have gone on to the medium tyres. We'll quickly run through. So yeah, Chicken's gone on to soft tyres. Curly also on to soft.
Curly in fact actually gone to the softs. So yeah, two of them's gone on the mediums. He's gone on soft. So very interesting strategy there for Curly, it must be said. I wonder what he's planning during this race.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll quickly run through the tyres. All the top 8, they're on super soft. Davidos is the first man on an alternate strategy. He's on the soft compound tyres down in 9th. Clay on the medium, so he's the only one who started on the medium tyres, interestingly enough. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes on. I'd imagine it's a medium super soft, as you'd expect. But Davidos could really have some serious pace later on if he is going for the soft, super soft. It is a risk, but Flores obviously will have to make a decision nice and early as to what he's going on to. We've got one more lap until pit stops will commence throughout the field. Dan Daniel on super softs. So yeah, we're looking at pretty much the top 8. They're on the optimum strategy, and everyone else on alternate. Dan Daniel, he's coming to the pits nice and early, so he'll be going on to a fresh set of medium tyres.
Got a battle for second going on at the moment. RDX all over the back of Ollie.
Yeah, indeed. Nardi is not going to let Ollie have his moment. Ollie, who we thought would go on a charge after getting past the Red Bull and go for the Grand Prix lead here, but the Renault of Nardi, he's got a different idea. He wants to get himself up there, and all the guys behind him are actually catching up. So I do wonder if Ollie previously, of course, he was involved in some late lap drama at China, which cost him, potentially some important credibility and points, punishments we don't get involved in, of course, but it was an interesting manoeuvre nonetheless. And he'll be all over the rear end of him, trying to make sure he gets the car nicely lit up out of the final corner to get onto the back of Ollie. It's just 0.2 of a second, so we could see the manoeuvre done into turn 1, a battle for second position. And then you'd ask the question, can Nardi push onto Flores? Flores, who is yet to score championship points, and could be the first man outside Ollie and Synthetic to win a Grand Prix this season. Nardi is all over the back of him. He's done so much, he lifted off there. He's lifted off, he's now decided he's going to go for the mover down the start-finish straight. He's going to have DRS and Slipstream at his aid. Ollie, he's going to have to try and make a defensive manoeuvre. You'd imagine he got up the inside, or will he stick to his racing line? Nardi, DRS and Slipstream are active now. He's going to flick the car to the right-hand side. Ollie gets defensive now. He's going to hold the racing line up the inside, guys. Nardi, you'd imagine he'll hold on to it. Ollie going to go round the outside, which will turn to the inside into turn 2 now. Ollie beautifully done there, but Nardi's going to have the traction and the better speed out of that corner, and he's got it done. Will Ollie look for a manoeuvre now coming out into turn 4? I think he's going to play it safe and stick into 4th position and try and put Nardi under some pressure. So the next driver in second position to put Flores under pressure, that's the Renault driver of Nardi as Super Scrub comes into the pits.
Fairly well at the moment, setting a fastest lap of the race at the moment. As earlier made a very interesting stop. It shows how quick the softs are, but as we said a little earlier, it's very interesting why he's gone to the soft tyres. It seems that the majority of them have gone on mediums there, so we'll have to really keep an eye on that one. There's some great rally going on at the field, and there's himself up into 15th place at the moment, so he's making his way up through the field slowly at the moment. Yeah, at the moment, a very nice battle at the moment between Nardi X and Ollie. I saw a little bit earlier on before the battle even happened, it looked like that Ollie actually slid coming out of turn 2 there, sorry, turn 1 I should say. That's probably why Nardi X was all over him, but it seems that Nardi had some more pace in it, and his Ollie doesn't seem to be able to catch him up. We'll have to rely on DRS on this street.
Yeah, Ollie is really going to be under danger from Cass potentially, but I think he's going to be okay at the moment. The Eagle Killer and Synthetic, they're the ones who are going to be coming through nicely at the moment. Alex as well. Alex is coming into the pits on lap 9, so he's the first of the quicker top 9 who are coming into the pits now. No one else seemingly. The Eagle Killer all over rear end at Cass now. He's gained significantly thanks to DRS and Slipstream there. And now going to come through now into turn 3. Up this long straight, potential overtaking opportunity. Cass goes defensive, he holds the right hand side. The Red Bull going to look around the outside, the difficult way around. If he's going to do it, he's going to brake later. He's not gone for it. Going to go for the switchback. No, I'm not sure if he's going to. They'll be side by side though, heading into this left right hand section. This is an opportunity there for the Red Bull. They're going to just touch there. The Haas there has been pushed off. He's held the position. He's now completely off the track. The Red Bull gets by. Will the Williams get by as well of Synthetic? Synthetic moving up into this position. Maybe no, a little bit of contact from the Haas and the Williams, but Synthetic barges his way through there. And he's up into 5th position. All about damage limitation for him at this stage. The Haas all over the place there. Maybe time for him to come into the pits there. So Cass not doing great. The Eagle Killer and Synthetic both getting through, and this is now when you're going to start to see people stream into the pits. This is probably where the tyres are so much dead. If you look at the gap from Flores to Nardi, 3.3 seconds. Previously, last check 2 laps ago, 5-second gap. So Nardi is significantly gaining and could be in for a shout of a race win here.
Indeed he does, and I think it does show that Nardi really has some extreme pace, but whether it's just on this stint or not, and whether he's able to up on the next year, as Flores actually goes into the pits in fact, so the race leader into the pits. Does Nardi join him or is he going to stay out? Nardi's actually going to stay out, so let's see what kind of tyres Flores is going to go on then, as the Force India mechanics are waiting for him, sponsored by Hype Energy. And it's a set of medium tyres, so pretty much what most of the field are doing at the present moment. Let's see if Flores is going to have some clear track in front, or whether he'll come out into some traffic. It looks like it's going to be clear from what I can see. A little bit of a battle in front, but not too far away from Flores, and he's going to come out in 7th place. So some clear air it seems, and now Nardi has the opportunity to try and push and see if he can try and leapfrog Flores, or even get closer, depending on how many laps he's going to stay out.
Yeah, it's been a good position there for Flores. He's got enough time, 9-second gap to the guy ahead, which is Clay, who's currently battling with Over the King. It'll be interesting to see how Nardi can do. I think an overcut his potential. I think Ollie, Nardi and Synthetic might be trying to go onto the soft tyres. Maybe just doing the opposite to Flores there. Flores maybe pulling the gun a little bit too early there, and Nardi will be... I think Nardi's actually lost some time, so Ollie's now just within a second as well. So not ideal there from Nardi. So
yeah.
Ollie is within DRS zone, so it looks like Nardi's tyres are also going off quite significantly now. And Ollie, he'll be trying to get up there. Synthetic, he's gaining on the back of these two. Important notice, the championship leader and the defending champion, just under 2 seconds. So Ollie, who's trying to gain, of course, on the Williams driver, will not be happy with the sight of Synthetic gaining positions and up into 3rd position at this stage. Let's have a look. Nardi, I'd imagine, will come into the pits. If not, he's coming into the pits now. Ollie behind also coming in, and Synthetic,
Ollie's joining him,
and
I think
all of the top 3 have.
just joined him.
Yeah, all of the top 3 coming into the pits. Interesting to see what tyres they all go onto, so keep your eyes peeled onto the top left hand of your screen there. Ollie has gone on softs. Ollie's gone on softs. It looks like mediums for Synthetic, and Nardi as well. So Ollie, he's gone for the risky strategy. He feels like he can get them soft tyres till the end. He knows he needs to pull off something if he wants to win this Grand Prix. 2nd place will not be good enough for the Mercedes driver. He'll be wanting full points if he wants to. Flores comes out comfortably in the lead from Nardi, who's just exiting now. And Flores doing a good job. He's onto the medium tyres. So the longer runners, Clay, who's battling with Over the Kink and has been for the last few laps. Davidos as well, who leads the Grand Prix. For how long though? I'd imagine he'll be coming to the pits around lap 15 if he wants to get them tyres. Maybe a little bit later even, if he's looking to go soft, super soft, which is doing very much a push. But Clay all over the rear end of Over the Kink now. Going to be interesting if he can get past him. The longest of the medium runners, Clay, at the moment. Over the Kink is looking like he's starting to struggle a little bit coming out of the hairpin. The DRS open for the Ferrari driver as he looks to get past them. I just don't think he has the straight line speed compared to the Toro Rosso.
No, it doesn't appear like it, and yeah, saw earlier on coming on to Ollie's decision to go on the soft. Saw earlier his teammates actually done the same thing. So Mercedes going very risky, it must be said. But I'm guessing Ollie's trying anything he can to try and win this race today, it must be said, and going for a risky strategy as well. It's pretty much just throwing the book out, I think.
Yeah, indeed. He needs to go onto them soft tyres if he wants to go for something big. It's important that he gets himself onto them tyres and gets them lit up. Over the Kink coming into the pits, and so too, no, Clay doesn't. He just does a little quick fake there. It's important that Ollie makes sure he tyres last, but is also competitive. He'll probably be gaining onto the back of Nardi quite rapidly. We'll keep an eye on the gap there as Flores sets the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1 minute 31.472. He's trying to extend his lead to Nardi as in the pitch you can see over the kink. It'll be interesting where he comes out. It says he's gone on to another set of mediums. I can't imagine that's right. We'll keep. It's gone on to a set of mediums. Sorry, he started on the soft tyres. As there's a scrap going on ahead there between Synthetic, Alex, Alonso, and the Eagle Killer. Synthetic's moved up into 8th position. The Eagle Killer's down into 9th, and Alonso now he's all over the rear end of Alex. I think Alex got past him going into the first corner, and Alex moves up. I think Alex Sims of Synthetic now looking up the inside of the Ferrari, potentially a little bit of contact there, and off goes the Ferrari. The Ferrari's off into the wall, and that's the Ferrari off. These front wings gone. The second place man, the championship, made contact with Synthetic, and not ideal for him, and he's called it a day. And so Synthetic has retired from this race after contact with the championship leader, and that is an early bath for him on lap 12. The first retirement of this Grand Prix is RC Alonso. Synthetic, they're going for a move, getting a bit desperate maybe. His next target, whether you mean it as overtakes or a victim, his next target is Alex, his teammate. Whether it will be a difficult overtake, I'm not too sure. There might be a few team orders. Alex might be looking to help his team. No, yeah, Nardi has a penalty, so not great for him. He's got Ollie all over the back of him. 1 second. Let's see if we can get the manoeuvre done here. But Synthetic has the Eagle Killer and Cass all over his rear end. The midfield is always where the battles seem to come alive here in AOR, especially around Bahrain. The front can sometimes get a little bit slow at points, but we've had late last lap drama as Flores now moves up to second. Ollie setting a fastest lap, unsurprisingly of course, on them soft tyres, but unable to catch up to Nardi just so. So he'll be waiting to get into that 1 second mark, and the quicker he gets past, the better for him, but he needs to keep an eye on them tyres, because if they get damaged, it could be game over before it even starts.
Exactly right. As you just saw there, Davidos has just gone into the pits there, and he was actually started on the soft tyres, it was so quite interesting to start on, and now he gets a 3 second time for more warnings there. But he's gone on to a set of mediums, so I don't know why he even started on the soft tyres, to be honest with you. I find that a little bit pointless, to be honest with you. He's just gone to a set of mediums.
Yeah, there is a potential that maybe his tyre wear wasn't good enough on the super soft. Maybe he wasn't able to get them super soft even to lap 5, so we had to go for it. It's a little bit of a strange one, but he'll be on fresher mediums now. He'll be trying to make his way through the field. Synthetic, he's obviously all over the rear end of his teammate. He might look for a manoeuvre going into the end of this DRS straight. It's a difficult one to go for. It's a long swooping left-hander. He's not going to go for it. Alex seemingly all wheels off the track there. That won't help with his grip and traction, but he's got through there nicely. Ollie, he's not actually got within that second mark now as they come through these final few corners, so I'd imagine maybe Ollie is just saving his tyres till the end, which kind of defeats the purpose of having the soft tyres. They are the quicker tyres compared to the mediums. They are the middle set of the super soft and medium compound tyres, and if you are on them, you're going to be significantly quicker than the medium runners. Tyre wear will be degradable, so Ollie's seemingly struggling a bit to get onto the back of Nardi, who seems to have full control over these medium compound tyres. The fastest lap there set from Nardi, so he's turned the engine up a little bit. He's gone into the special mode as Synthetic going side by side with Alex now. Looks like a swap, and Alex is letting go by nice and easy. Championship hopes for Synthetic, and Alex has done himself a good service there, helping the team out. They're going to get the points no matter what, and now you let Synthetic go and chase after Ollie potentially. A 3 second gap between these two, and Ollie's going to be pulling away, but it's important that he stays with him as close as possible to not allow the defending champion, who we know can pull off a great comeback when needed to, make sure that he stays within the reins and he holds on to as many points as possible in this championship scrap. Eagle Killer all over the rear end of Eagle Killer all over the rear end of Alex. The Williams as they come through the hairpin now. He'll be looking to get onto the back of him. The only real overtaking opportunity we've seen so far really has been turn 1. It's such a long straight DRS, a hairpin, sharp braking, moving down into second gear as well. So he'll be hoping to get the manoeuvre done down there. This straight hasn't really been great for overtaking. A little bit of barging here and there. If anything really, the best overtaking zone has been round about turn 8 at that hairpin. So if anyone's going to go for manoeuvre, it's not really frowned upon, but it's not really the best overtaking position. You're probably best off going for the straight if you want to make sure it's 100% clean. But only man yet to pit is Clay on the medium tyres. He's really going along, so I'd imagine he might be going for the super soft tyres.
You would think that, but yeah, I was going to ask you that I was wondering if he was on a set of tyres, but thanks for clarifying that for me. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that's the case. I mean, Flores, as you can see now, is starting to gain onto him, so clearly Clay is going for quite a long stint. I don't think he and his teammate qualified particularly well, of course, so I guess it's pretty much a shot in the dark for him, really, and seeing if he can try and get tyres to stretch to the point where he can then get on those soft tyres and possibly get some points in the end, and hopefully make good positions in there.
Yeah, Ollie is making his way through the field now. He's not. The thing is, you look at him now, and he's been around about this same sort of gap to Nardi all out through the race. You know, it's not been ideal. He's just not gaining significantly, so his tyre wear could be important here. Deagle Killer's still all over the rear end of Alex, and we're hitting a bit of a lull in the race where no one's going for the manoeuvres. Flores only a 2.9 second gap to Nardi, though. That's an important one to keep an eye on. So Nardi could slowly chip away. Flores did have a 5-second gap at one stage, but Clay holding out a little bit longer. I don't think he's got any objective to hold up Flores at all. Flores just needs to make sure he keeps his head straight and continues to do what he needs to do and get himself across that line nice and safe and win this Grand Prix. If he can hold on to this position, of course. Ollie still 1.6 seconds, so he needs to do his best now. Deagle Killer looking like the likeliest man to get a move done on the next lap now. He's got Alex within his sights, and he's been there for a while, but I think Alex, once again, is set up for straight line speed. In Azerbaijan, he had a setup that was so tailored to straight line speed that no one could get past him through the corners. He was horrendous, but on the straights he was unstoppable, which is of course what you need around Azerbaijan. Bahrain a little bit different, but the Eagle Killer doesn't really get the best of exits. He's got the slipstream and the DRS available to him. He's going to look for a manoeuvre potentially through into turn one. Alex, a little bit of a manoeuvre to the left hand side there, but he holds on to the position, and Deagle Killer can't get it done. Curly, though, this could bring him into play, and Cass if they do it. So Curly, obviously, who pitted earlier on after contact with the Red Bull of Chicken. He's onto the soft tyres. You can imagine he'll be pitting again at some point as we get lovely shots of this Bahrain. A great track, of course, at night. As you mentioned earlier, Joe, you preferred it at night over today, and I would have to agree. It really does make these cars shine and pop in these conditions, and it's doing a great job and a great service for racing. The gaps earlier on only separated by a few tenths each of them, but now it's just seemingly like everyone's starting to open up, and this midfield battle between Alex, Deagle Killer, Cass, and potentially Curly and Clarkey is where the action is going to come alive.
Yeah, indeed, definitely. Just bringing up on the point about Ollie's pace at the moment, it must be said that, yeah, he just doesn't seem to have the pace on Nardi X, but I did watch actually Azerbaijan, to be honest, when I came on the stream, and I do believe it was in fact Nardi that was in before they did the castle, and it just seemed that Nardi had a little bit more pace than Ollie, but yeah, pretty much a similar situation in Bahrain, was concerned.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hold on to it. I mean, it's a little bit of a shame for Ollie. He's going for a safe soft, and the amount of laps left, you would have thought he would have maybe gone for the super soft tyres and gone for it. But if he's on them soft compound tyres, everyone else on mediums, you'd imagine he can maybe make up some positions and get into the points there. Deagle Killer and Cass now, they're going side by side scrapping. Deagle Killer has not been able to catch onto the back of Alex, and now he's got the Haas driver all over his rear end, goes defensive onto the right hand side of the track. Cass will have to go the long way around if he wants to go for it. They're going to go around the outside potentially. No, Cass thinks better of it and holds off for now, but he might get the switch back, but no, held off by the Red Bull of the Eagle Killer. Flores now leads the Grand Prix. Nardi's in second. Ollie in third position. Synthetic fourth, and Alex in fifth. Eagle Killer and Cass, who are currently scrapping, make it sixth and seventh. And Cass is all over the rear end of him and has been for quite a significant amount of time now. And he'll be looking to get the manoeuvre done as quickly as possible, because he can not only see the Eagle Killer, but he can see Alex ahead of him. So fifth position is really up for grabs for this Haas driver.
Indeed, and just to let you know, of course, obviously in the race, of course, but only by 2.6 seconds. Nardi starting to show some really good pace, it seems, and hopefully we might get a battle for the lead towards the end of the race if Nardi's able to keep up this pace.
Yeah, it'll be important for him to do so. Nardi is doing really good work at the moment, but for Ollie, with the pace he's showing and tyre wear as well, I think he might be just trying to play it safe and get third position, is what I'm imagining he's going for at the moment. I think third position is where it's pretty much set, if he can hold on to these tyres. But then again, Synthetic does show some great pace at times, and for him to get himself into that bracket and get some pace going, he might be able to catch and overtake Ollie. And at the moment, Synthetic will be looking at Nardi, Flores and Ollie, and I think he'll be pretty pleased with the points he's picking up. It will help extend his lead to second place, but that gap between second and eighth position is so tight that we don't know who could be in second position come the end of this Grand Prix. All we know is that Synthetic is looking very happy at the moment, and if he can get past Ollie, we'll make it 4 podiums in a row, which is a very impressive stat for him, considering he come to the season not expecting to do as well as he thought. He was not planning on having such a championship boost, but doing so well early on has really helped out the German in the Williams car, and he's looking for not only a championship potential but constructors points as well, with him and Alex doing a great show in 4th and 5th.
Exactly, and just to let you know, of course, Chick actually just made his second stop. It's just come out in 16th place, and I don't know if you caught on to it, but I believe Aston actually got up to 6th place, passing Eagle there. So it seems that there's a bit of a train of cars forming over there as well. There's a lot of people using DRS down the street, so probably one to look out for. Probably an interesting battle.
Yeah, it is. The midfield, a lovely scrap going on. The Haas, Red Bull, Mercedes, Toro Rosso and McLaren all coming through. Curly Whirly on the soft tyres. He's making his way through nicely. So points are the issue with Curly Whirly, of course, so he's going to make his tyres last to the end. So pretty much the most legit soft runner is Clay. So he'll be a car to keep an eye on later on in this Grand Prix. Curly will make places up here, but he might lose them out when he looks like he can be forced into pitting unless his tyre wear is nothing. But there he goes. He comes into the pit. So as we mentioned, his tyre wear, I'd imagine he'd go onto super soft tyres. If he doesn't, it might be a wasted opportunity, and it looks like a set of super softs. Yeah, super soft tyres is Clay. It's the fastest lap as expected, and Curly coming onto super softs. He'll probably come out in about 14th position as Jim Pasty comes across the line. Yeah, 14th position for him now, so that now opens the midfield gap up a little bit. Diggle Killer, he's all over the rear end of Cass. He's not letting that position go easily, but he's unable to get the manoeuvre done into turn 4. Clarkey and Alvaro in 8th and 9th. We're trying to pick up on scraps. We know that contact can happen, and when it does, you've got to be opportunistic. Ollie had that earlier on when his teammate and the Red Bull collided, and that's helped promote him up into a provisional P3. Well, he's in set P3, but it depends on how his tyre wear goes, and his pace at the moment is not looking good enough to catch on to Nardi, and he's on soft tyres, so maybe not having the most legitimate pace round here. He's just going to have to try and hold them tyres out, but could be under threats from both Williams in synthetic and Alex later on in this Grand Prix. Clarkey will be getting a little bit anxious behind him. We're hoping to get onto the back of Deagle Killer with Alvaro breathing down him. Alvaro has the least to lose at this stage, obviously, of the 4 of them. He's in the lowest position at the moment, and if he gains all the positions, then he'll be pretty pleased with himself, considering he wasn't expecting to make this Grand Prix, but he was able to get here in time. iSuper Scrub, who's currently stepping in for Force India for Gemzo, doing a good enough job in 14th, showing some solid pace, but Davidos, the last man in the points as well. We've got to mention though, Flores, who has shown great pace today, has yet to score a championship point, and to get 25 as your first championship points on the boards could be a late push for him. It would actually put him quite significantly up in the championship with how second place is set so far. He could be up into about the top 6 with the way he's driving at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job, Flores, who had that miserable race at Australia where him and Gemzo both crashed out on lap 1. He's now looking set for a Grand Prix win as Cam Daniel picks up a 3-second time penalty.
And if I keep on mentioning Indeed quite a lot there, it's kind of a habit of mine. But anyway, it must be said as well, Flores, he's not like he's a bad driver, it must be said. I mean, obviously he hasn't scored any points yet, but he was in ULC, which was a combined league full of a lot of leagues going on around PlayStation. Well, he was quite quick in that league as well, and it just seems that he's not...
Oh, quickly, Joe, sorry to interrupt you there. Deagle Killer and Clarkey. Deagle Killer's gone wide going into the hairpin there just before the DRS zone back straight and coming to the side of Clarkey there. Sorry to interrupt you. And Clarkey may have some damage. Doesn't look like he does. Poor driving from Deagle Killer there. He's just gone a little bit wide, re-entered the track, and not great there. And now Clarkey will be all over the rear end of him, so not great there. Sorry, Joe, to interrupt.
Yeah, very interesting battle there. And yeah, I was saying, I mean, he's not like he's a bad driver or anything like that. He's just, I guess he's quite unlucky this season, must be said, but he's finally seemed to be able to get the gap stable between himself and Nardi X. Just something to point out on Ollie as well. You mentioned, of course, that you have to consider tyre wear. You have to remember, he is on the same strategy as what his teammate was. So you have to question, really, does he afford staying out on those set of tyres, or would you expect him maybe just to pit for a set of super softs? It just depends really on how much the tyre wear goes at this stage. I mean, let's remember, of course, synthetic is actually catching him up at a rate of knots. The gap is around about 1.5 seconds. So I guess the only plan he's got is to really stick out on these tyres. Really. Speaking of Curly, he's just set the fastest lap.
Yeah, indeed. Curly doing a good job at the moment as he's trying to make his way through the field. He's got a battle on his hand if he wants to score points. Clay doing a fantastic job. He's on the soft compound tyres making his way through. He's got past over to Kink and he's got up into P10 now. Davidos is the next man on his radar, the Ferrari driver. He'll be hoping to get that done. Clarkey, he's on the back of Deagle Killer as they come through the hairpin and avoid contact this time. Deagle Killer dropping quite significantly. It's the Red Bull versus Toro Rosso, feeder team versus parent team. Deagle Killer will not be letting his comrade up the inside or anything. He's not going to give him any leeway, similar to how we saw Alex and Synthetic earlier on. Cass now within that 1 second gap to Alex as well, as he looks to maybe gain some points. Synthetic 1.1 seconds now to Ollie. Ollie is really dropping some time, so not only is it an important battle for the podium, but this could be a significant moment in the championship battle as well. Ollie, who could have played it safe onto mediums, has gone risky onto a set of the compound tyres, and it could lose him some major points here. Not, I mean, look, you've got about, what, 7 complete laps to go. Not really ideal now, Ollie. He's got to really make these tyres last, so it looks like he'll be going onto a set of super softs, if not going onto a set of softs that may puncture with the degradation they do show around this track. Kay up the inside of Davidos, going into turn 1, and he gets the manoeuvre done. Davidos thinking better of it. He'll try and hold on to that final points playing position, but he will have over to Kink in a Toro Rosso all over his rear end as Jim Pasadena comes into the pits for what I'd imagine is a fresh set of super soft tyres.
Well, let's check that actually. If he super soft, yes, you're right on that. But yeah, gap now down to 9/10 of a second. I did say a little bit earlier on with Ollie, it has to be said that clearly he was trying to do something to try and win this race today, and clearly it's him in the bum essentially. So that's pretty much that. And now, as you can see, Synthetic now in the DRS zone, within DRS range, I should say, on Ollie. So maybe in around about 1 or 2 laps, you could see Synthetic in front of Ollie at this stage. As mentioned, not really ideal, considering Ollie is actually trying to catch up with this guy in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, 7/10 of a second. Synthetic will be licking his lips. He can smell Ollie's gearbox, and he can see it very, very shortly. He'll be right up the rear end of him soon. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get the manoeuvre done. 7/10 of a second isn't good enough, I don't think. DRS and Slipstream, though, active. Give it one more lap, and you'd imagine Synthetic will be getting a manoeuvre done on Ollie, and this could be significant championship points dropped for the Mercedes guy. Clarkey still all over the rear end of Eagle Killer. We've seen this quite a lot where guys have been within that, under that 1 second mark, but unable to get the manoeuvre done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the only way that Ollie can really hold him off is if he stays out there, and that even in itself is going to be a risk in terms of his tyres as well. It's very clear that Ollie is definitely struggling on these tyres, of course, and well, it's the only option he's got really. Otherwise, pits now for a set of super soft tyres. He's going to lose significant time in the Drivers' Championship to Synthetic. So, pretty much a dilemma here for Oliver, and well, who knows really.
Yeah, 5/10 of a second. We'll keep an eye on this now. Synthetic will have DRS down this back straight. I'd be shocked if he goes for the manoeuvre here. Damn Daniel picking up another penalty, so not a great day for him down in P17. Synthetic won't go for the manoeuvre here, but coming through the final sector, he needs to make sure he hooks it up perfectly. Ollie looks like he's struggling with degradation. Another side note, Nardi 1.6 seconds behind Flores at the moment. It's getting tighter and tighter at the top, and it's getting tighter for a podium position. Remember though, if them two at the front come
very intriguing, it must be said, towards these final few laps.
Yeah, it will be indeed. Ollie though has got to hold off Synthetic. Nardi, he'll be on the back of Flores. So the two, the leader and the third place man, have got them battles at the moment. Ollie now will have to defend as well as he can with no DRS available to him. Slipstream for Synthetic, but I don't think he'll be able to get the manoeuvre done. No, he just run out of track there. So Synthetic unable.
Ollie just seemed to get better traction than what Synthetic coming out the final corner. I don't know if that's a weak point from Synthetic there, but he really needs to adjust that really if he wants to get a podium in this race, because what, he's only got 6 laps left now, so he really needs to hook it up in those laps. But yeah, he is getting very feisty, it must be said, to try and get that 3rd place today.
Yeah, but then again, can Synthetic play it safe? He's leading the championship, he doesn't need to do anything rash. You know, he's getting some solid points here on the board. It's not like he needs these points desperately and he's playing catch up. If anything, Ollie, he needs to hold on to his position more. So maybe Ollie gets a bit desperate. Maybe as well, Ollie is holding a straight line speed based setup where his car is perfectly set for straight line speed, so overtaking him becomes a difficulty.
Yeah, indeed. And just a note for you, of course, it's now down to 1.5 seconds between Flores and Nardi X at the moment. At one point it was down to, I think, definitely clear. Around about this second sector here, I think Flores seems to be a lot stronger than what Nardi is. It seems in the other 2 sectors, Nardi seems to have his number.
Yeah, it's a tough one because Forrest has done such a solid job. He's led from first lap to last, and Nardi now starting to gain in a little bit. Maybe he's pushed his tyres a bit too much, and Flores has been playing it safe. On board with Synthetic, this looks to be the closest he's been all race long to the back of Ollie Day, and he's got to have an opportunity. DRS and Slipstream will be available, but it looks like if you just look, Ollie's pulling away from him. So I don't think he's got the manoeuvre.
Might have to try and dive it actually.
No, but imagine he'd play it safe there. So Synthetic unable to get it done. So Ollie gets not just a good exit, but I think his straight line speed is just able to match, if not beat, Synthetic with DRS and Slipstream, which is almost unheard of in these cars.
Indeed, definitely. I mean, these cars suffer a lot with dirty air, really. So it's, I think, as mentioned, Bahrain is one of those tracks where it pretty much eliminates that, really. I think just due to the nature of that, really. But yeah, as you can see, it's in fact just looking for any weak points that Ollie has in front of this stage.
Yeah, there might even be a Chicken's retired there. It's quickly got on board with Chicken, and no, he just called it a day. So I think he's just decided to give up there after his earlier incident with the two Mercedes. Synthetic getting closer and closer each lap. As well though, could he force Ollie into all these defensive manoeuvres and pushing to maybe have a puncher? And if he does, that would be catastrophic for Ollie. That might just be lights out on not only his race and podium potential, but his championship hopes as well. So he really needs to, this is almost cutthroat at the moment for Ollie. One more mistake and it could be lights out for him just this early on as well. It might be time to look at another championship contender. Synthetic though, he'll play it safe, he'll play it careful. This is incredibly close though. This is the closest he's been. He's all over the gearbox. I think now the cornering is coming to effect now. Synthetic might get the manoeuvre done nice and early. He's got it before even the braking zone. And there goes Synthetic moving up into P3 past Ollie D. And that is the manoeuvre completed. Maybe if Ollie has DRS, we'll keep an eye on now. Whether Ollie has the DRS or whether it's Synthetic, it's Ollie with the DRS. So Ollie has Slipstream and DRS now. Synthetic will have to defend. This might have been a great strategy here from Ollie. Will he go up the inside, goes around the outside, thinks better of it maybe. Synthetic, a little minor lock up from the right hand side of his car. Ollie can't get it done. He just now, if I'm honest, needs to play it safe and keep these tyres alive, but a better exit out the corner. He's got a better setup it seems. Defensive manoeuvre, Synthetic has two wheels off the track there. Ollie going around the outside, but he can't. The issue is with this lack of tyre wear.
He has done it earlier in the race.
Yeah, with his lack of grip at the moment, I don't think he's got the car through the corners where he can actually get the manoeuvre done. So Synthetic moves on to P3 and a great performance from him to get up into third position. We go on to Nardi now. 1 second gap to Flores and it's been dropping minorly for every single lap. And now with just a few laps to go, will Nardi be able to get onto the back of the Force India and ruin the dreams of the Hype Energy guys and scrap a win that seemingly wasn't on the cards a few laps ago?
No, indeed, and just to let you know, of course, Ollie's still competitive, but at the same time, the other Williams, Alex, seems to catch up to Ollie as well. So Williams potentially it's maximum points today if Alex is able to get high on Ollie.
It's championship hopes, but Nardi not within that under that 1 second mark to get DRS, but Ollie is. I'm not sure if he'll be anything with it though. He won't be ahead of him, I don't think. I think he'll be more looking behind to him to Alex, and not only Alex, but Cass, and you know he's got to really keep an eye on a puncher at the moment as well. Tyre-wise, he's had a real good performance so far on these sets of tyres. Positions were gained as well. Nardi has gained 9 positions up into P2, a fantastic showing from him. He's done a real solid job. Synthetic as well, he's moved up 6 positions up into third. A great showing from him. Clay doing great on the ultimate strategy. Clarkey though is still on the back of Deagle Killer. So these two have been scrapping it out for quite a while now, and he's done a really good job, Deagle Killer, to hold on to this position. And Clarkey will be really frustrated and sick of the sign. Sorry, sick of the sight of the Red Bull there. I know it's a nice finished car and it looks lovely with its design, but I don't think Clarkey will be too pleased with the sight of that rear wing for much longer. Alex now within that 1 second gap to get DRS available to him. But it doesn't look like Synthetic's pulling away too dramatically, so Ollie has got some pace, but I think these tyres are really letting him down.
Well, he's out of DRS when it's infected, that's the most important thing, so Ollie's not really much of a threat. But as mentioned, I think Ollie's main focus is on Alex, because the gap is now down to 7/10 of a second between the pair of them, so Alex should have DRS on this lap, unless he bottles it on the last second.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it won't be ideal for Ollie this, but of course, plenty of rounds to go. It's only round 4, remember, so it's not really perfect for him. Sorry to tick quickly, but yeah, I think Ollie needs to just make sure he gets his car to the end there. Of course, support in the chat from his brother. He's always his biggest fan and his biggest critic as well, you could say. But Alex is all over the rear end of him now. Give it one more lap, and you can't imagine that Ollie will be holding on to the position much longer, so he's dropping quite dramatically.
Lap,
Alex looking around the outside, potentially. Ollie locks up, and that's not great on his tyres. Switchback potential for Alex here. He goes onto that now, right up to the rear end of his gearbox, really looking to turn 4. Alex has got so much speed, he's pushing him up the hill there. He's going to around the outside. Ollie takes the inside line. He's going to go the long way around if he wants to go for it. Side by side. There you go, little bit of contact. No, they avoid it. They go for it. Off the track goes to Williams, but he's unable to get it moved. Williams now going around the outside. Will turn to the inside for Ollie though, and he's unable to get it done. But I give it one more lap, maybe even into this corner, this hairpin. Up the inside he goes, Alex. Beautifully done, little lock up. Ollie goes for the switchback. Can he get it done though? Switchback for Ollie. He gets the manoeuvre done there, and Ollie holds on to the position. Just Alex though, give him one more straight, and he might get the manoeuvre done. Ollie doing some great work on what are pretty much dead tyres. They're down to the bone at the moment. These set of these set of soft compound tyres.
Indeed, definitely. It's down to 1.1 seconds, but between Flores and Nardi X. But it seems that time is running out for Nardi X to try and get the move done on Flores. He'll really need a really strong last lap if he's got any chance of winning it. In my opinion, Flores has pretty much got this one in the bag if he's just able to keep his nerve as he just starts the final lap of the race.
Yeah, Flores now coming through his victory tour. He's been able to hold this gap throughout the entire Grand Prix. We'll hop on board with Alex, who looks like he might steal some championship points from Ollie here, who has one more lap to go to hold on to these tyres and get some vital championship points to turn his season around potentially. Flores though, he's had a great drive. He's done perfectly everything right, but we'll go on board with Alex. He's going to have to go around the outside if he wants to go for it. Ollie takes the inside line, little lock up from both drivers there. Alex unable to get it done. Great defensive manoeuvring there from Ollie to hold him off, but a better exit for Alex. He needs to go for the inside, I think, but Ollie, wise to it. He goes inside, the veteran versus the champion. Going to have to go around the outside. Is he going to go for the undercut, maybe switch back? No. Ollie goes a bit deep and Alex unable to get it done. Better on the traction though. He's got a wheel alongside. He needs to leave him some room up the inside potentially for Alex. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to squeeze him off? No, just avoiding contact there, and Alex off the track, and that might be his moment over. Castro will look for it. I don't think he can, so Ollie holding off once again. A great showing from him. Flores though, he's held off Nardi well. He's done a fantastic job. We'll quickly mention him as these two continue to scrap. I think Alex might have damaged his tyres too significantly and he could lose out the P6, the Cass. But we'll go on board with Flores, who has had a pretty much flawless Grand Prix. Perfect in qualifying, 2/10 of a second. Yeah, I think it's over now. We'll go on Flores. He's had a great drive, 2/10 of a second better in qualifying. He's really been unchallenged throughout this Grand Prix. Nardi looked like he might be able to challenge, but Flores has had him under control from start to finish. The Hype Energy guys will be over the moon. It's Flores who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Pole and a race victory for him. He gets his first points of the season. Second place will be Nardi. Third place, championship leader, Synthetic gets the job done. Ollie, he has Alex all over his rear end. He's held them tyres out perfectly. Congratulations to Ollie for doing a fantastic strategy. Fourth position for him, he's back into points. And Alex in fifth position, who drops down to sixth as Clarkey. Yeah, Cass is down to 8th position, so he's got a puncher. He's got a left rear puncher for Cass. He's down to 8th position. Clarkey moves on to 7th. A great showing from him, who done the alternative strategy. A great showing over to King. He gets 9th, and the Eagle Killer finally in 10th position. And well, what a Grand Prix that was. Some great midfield scrapping. The Toro Rosso finally got past the Red Bull in the end of Clarkey, and Diego Killer finishing in 10th position. Rounding out then Davidos in 11th, Curly Whirly 12th, Alvaro 13th, Pasti 14th, 15th goes to Ice Super Scrub, and VP Dan Daniel. So I've got to ask you, Joe, for your driver of the day after that showing, who are you going to give it to?
Am I allowed to say two in this instance?
I'll give you
really
two.
Impressed me today. Okay, Synthetic, brilliant drop from him after qualifying so low in the field to get himself up into third place and increase the lead in the Drivers' Championship. And the other one has to be race winner Flores. After everything that's happened to him so far this season, he finally gets his first points of the season, and those first points happen to be a victory for him.
Yeah, I would also give it to Flores. I think with the anguish he's had throughout the season, you know, a couple of DNFs, not being able to score points, not really showing his true pace. He's done an absolutely fantastic job to stand on the top step of the podium here for Force India and the Hype Energy guys, and get some solid points, which could maybe turn his championship around. It's so early on, and to get them 25 points, I think he'll be pretty over the move himself, and he picks up an AOR victory, something not many expected. A reckless driver at times, he's kept it nice and clean and done the job perfectly. Champagne all round. Nardi as well, done a great job. He's had his fair share of incidents, but he's done really well in recent races, and he gets second position. And Synthetic, of course, the championship leader, 4 podiums on the bounce. It's not 4 wins on the bounce like Flying Finn 3 wins on the bounce like Flying Finn in Xbox, but 4 podiums in a row is still a great achievement. Joe, do you want to run us through the classification?
Yes, I will. In the end, Flores won the race by 4.4 seconds with Nardi X in second place. Luckily, his penalty did not affect his position in the end. I've kind of forgot he had a penalty, to be honest with you. Synthetic third, Ollie D in fourth, Clarky fifth, Alex in sixth, Clay seventh, Cass in eighth, Over the King ninth, with Eagle in 10th, Davidos 11th, Hilly Willy 12th, Alvaro Mazia 13th, Passy 14th, I Superscore 15th, and Dan Daniel in 16th position. The 2 retirements, of course, were Chicken and Alonso.
Well, we were unable to get the. We won't be doing post-race interviews as they're obviously we only very rarely get people showing up to them. So we'll look to try and rectify that. We're also very much aware of the issues he had with the stream. Quality-wise, will be looked into. I have a suspicion that when the stream was reset up, it wasn't set at 720p, which would be my fault completely. I'll look into it and it will be looked into. All that's left for me to say is a huge thank you for Joe, JWF1, for joining me this race. Joe, I hope you enjoyed your first AOR experience.
Indeed it has, and better than I expected, to be honest with you. But yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
A huge congratulations to Flores and the Force Indy guys on a great win. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next week for Spain as we hit Europe for round 4 of the AOR PS4 Hype Energy F1 League. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.